The evidence that shows that Katie is a troll, okay? She makes the claim that Steve defrauded the government again. She has no evidence to say this and claims that she does. And hear Katie Paulson say herself for people to go strike Steve. She says that she struck Steve 18 times. I would like people who follow Katie Joy to see the evidence against her so that
I'm not pretending to be a lawyer. I'm simply explaining to you what's in the federal guidelines, what the enhancements are, what the judge said, the details.
I am going to post a video that I highly suggest you go and watch. It's about All Things Sassy, where she actually made a video of a woman that was in polygamy organization, okay? And she was on the show, How to Escape Polygamy. And KJ actually spoke to this woman, okay? This is mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. KJ turned around and told her audience on Instagram that escaping polygamy was a fake show. It wasn't true, it wasn't real. And this same person, Amanda Ray, that spoke to KJ. So can you imagine KJ sat there on the phone with Amanda and was like, oh, I am so sorry you had to go through that, acting ever so interested and sympathetic towards her. But then you come off to TLC and you choose to believe from whoever you heard from that that show was fake. And I highly suggest you go and watch that video, because it's very heartbreaking to think that this young lady lived that life and escaped. And now she feels she's not valid. Her story is not valid because KJ has announced to her audience that that show was fake. And why did she do that? To validate herself. To validate her story, where she's coming from, what she's reporting on. That is fucked up. Also, somebody else I want to mention. Channel WOACB versus WOACB. If you want to see nobody give commentary on anything, but just see how KJ fucking contradicts herself. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I'll just give you a sneak peek. Sneak peek.
Which means in truth he thought you were hot.
Probably. I think it's highly inappropriate to speculate on somebody else's sexuality, so I just choose not to do it.
Why are people so obsessed about that?
I don't know.
Who cares?
I don't ever want to like poke someone's sexuality, but I get some serious gay vibes from him.
Now, Jana Duggar was actually, she gets a lot of intrigue into her singleness because she's 30 years old and she's not married yet, which I just want to tell you, on my 30th birthday, I wasn't married either. And I was totally fine and still went on to find a husband as old and rickety as I was, you know.
And she has so many videos up. It's amazing. She is absolutely phenomenal. I highly suggest you go and check Miss All Things Sassy out and WOACB versus WOACB. It is absolutely amazing. The next part I'm going to come to, and this truly stood out to me when everything just started, her pattern started to make sense to me, okay? KJ had an issue with this person called Steve McRae. Steve McRae actually is also a YouTuber, and a few years ago he had a show called The Non Sequitur Show, which he had with a co-host, Kyle, okay? So, long story short, anti-vaxxers, and KJ ended up accusing Steve McRae of sexual harassment. Things went haywire. Things started going sour between Kyle, his business partner, and himself. KJ got involved and then started accusing Steve McRae of fraud and a laundry list of other things. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put in the description box the truth from Steve McRae that he put in a blog. And I highly suggest, don't just go off what other people have told you about a person. Use your own brain, you know. When I researched the story for myself, not listening to others or anything, I just researched it for myself. And what I took away from it is Steve McRae could be my brother. Steve McRae could be my uncle, my brother, my cousin, my father. And he's had this attached to him for a long time, that he sexually harasses women. He's got everything you need to know about that situation in these blogs. Just go ahead and give it a read. Look at all the information and then make up your mind for yourself. Because at the end of the day, when I researched this story, and like I said to you, this could have been, because he has a daughter, you know. And imagine with YouTube today, everybody's on YouTube, and your dad has this YouTube channel, and then a friend says, oh, but your dad's creepy, you know, he sexually harasses women. It's like, wow, wow. So apparently they went to court, NDAs were signed, nobody could talk about each other and all that good stuff, okay? So that's what I say, you know, with KJ. She takes traumatic experiences. She actually capitalizes on it and uses it for her own selfish personal gain. And this is what I mean by that, okay? During the Tachi lawsuit, you got this Nat person that was infiltrated the community and was causing havoc. She did some foul things to KJ. I'm talking about disturbing things. She did it to Salts. She did it to a lot of other people, okay? So the one day, KJ was on a live, on Kay Baxter's live, which I'll actually also list that video down below, okay? She was on a live with the same woman that brought such devastation to your family, that accused your husband of manufacturing CP, that brought danger and harm to your son. But she was on a live with this woman, being so sympathetic to this woman. But this is the kicker. This same woman that did all this bad stuff to you, okay? Kay Baxter asked her, what was the new information that was revealed? And let me play that clip for you.
So when Nat came on, she said she went ahead and handed all the rest of the information over to you today.
She gave me a little bit of stuff, and I will say that we do have all of her messages. So she gave everything to Salts. Like everything, every message, all of her social medias, all the DMs were downloaded. They have everything.
Yep.
So she's not lying about that.
So do you want to name who she named, Katie?
Today?
Yeah.
Oh, God. So I saw the screenshot of the actual account she spoke to. It was the real account of the person. She had them blocked, and it was Steve McRae.
There you go.
It was not a fake screenshot. It was his real account. We verified it was his real account. She was lied to by them when they found out that he was threatening her. It's my belief that they got nervous that she would say something, and they made her think she wasn't talking to him, but it was really his account.
That's what I was afraid of.
I mean, I've known this the whole time. The lies that he has spewed about me and this cult of women he's preyed on. I feel really bad for the women that he's done this to in a way, because a lot of them are just, they're in a vulnerable place in their lives. Some of them have they're struggling in something. A lot of the people just assume that It's just a lot of the women that got involved, they were fed lies and they hated me because of something else. Like I blocked them or whatever. A lot of it's I blocked them or I, didn't like their rude comment and I snapped back or something,
She actually said she got this information from Nat. She verified that was Steve McRae's original account. Totally false. Totally false. She was going after Steve to discredit Steve to the public because at this point, Steve has filed a lawsuit against her. He hasn't filed it in court. He has filed a hip pocket, meaning that he has not filed it in court yet, but he's just served her. And this is where the dilemma comes in, okay? Lawsuits are expensive, very expensive. People are judging Steve McRae and calling him all kinds of things because he basically can't pay to sue KJ. Why are they doing that? Why are they judging him for just trying to clear his name? He didn't do the things that KJ accused him of, allegedly. This is the confrontation she had with somebody that asked her to clarify herself.
He told me in September of 2019, if you do not apologize to me and publicly retract that I sexually harassed you, which is never really I don't even think I actually said sexually harassed. It was just that he spoke about his.
Yes, you did.
Did I say? I don't even remember. We were on a stream and I was not friends with him. I was not ever friends with him. I was friends with his person, the co-host that he shared the channel with. I never did streams with him. And he suddenly wanted to be there, like Johnny on the spot for something. And I was really uncomfortable. And Kyle stepped away for 2 seconds. And then all of a sudden he starts talking to a member. And his performance. And I'm so grossed out. Okay, so you said sexual harass. Okay, I forgot. It's been 2 years. I'm apologizing if I said sexual harass or uncomfortable. Does it matter what I called it?
Yeah.
It does, because a man that's talking about his penis to a woman who's married and it's an unbiased conversation while they're working, how do you qualify that?
But do you agree saying I feel uncomfortable is different than saying you're sexually harassing me?
I felt sexually harassed and I felt uncomfortable. And Steve,
but those are two different things. That's what we're saying.
Carly, have you watched this man? Have you seen what he does?
Yeah.
I have seen how he has done me, and that was not the first time. And by the way, it might be a crime, but it's not like I pressed charges. He didn't go to jail for it.
So you're getting agitated with another person because that person's asking you just to clarify, did he sexually harass you or did he make you feel uncomfortable? So why are you getting so upset, KJ? Why? Because she used, I can't even explain to you guys how I would feel personally. If somebody had done that to me or put my husband in jeopardy or put my son in harm's way, you best believe I will find a way to find that person, because that is fucked up. That is wrong on so many levels. But she used that situation to try discredit Steve McRae. So if you don't know, Michael Sauls was actually working with Katie Joy in response to dealing with Natalie Kennett. Because Michael Sauls, who is Tati's lawyer, was actually working with KJ because the same thing that was done with KJ actually was done to Michael Sauls. You know, they were trying to manufacture CP, it was a whole huge mess. So 6 months ago, 7 months ago, okay, Katie Joy was putting it all out there on this terrible person that this Steve McRae is, how he was involved with Natalie. He was trying to get her to do all these vicious and horrendous things. But let's take a look and see what Michael Sauls, that was a victim with Katie in this situation, that Katie was privy to any information Michael Sauls had, to what he put on his Twitter on December 8th of last year. This is a tweet from Michael Sauls, replying to at Steve McRae, at Mama Kush 88 and 3 others. At Steve McRae, you should be made aware that Natalie Kennett appears to be continuing her efforts to fabricate. Let me say that again. You should be made aware that Natalie Kennett appears to be continuing her efforts to fabricate evidence to claim you are somehow involved in her criminal conduct. We have asked her several times to stop contacting us. You can see below how that is going. So that tells me that Steve McRae had absolutely nothing to do with all of this that was going on with Natalie Kennett. So Natalie Kennett was lying about Steve McRae. So how did Katie Joy verify that that was his Instagram? That was his original Instagram? Something is so weird here. Because again, you guys, like I say, she'll use something that's so tragic in her life. She'll capitalize on it and use it for her fucked up personal gain. And what is that in regard to Steve McRae? To make people dislike this man, for people to see her side of the story, for people to believe that he's this bad person. You don't have to know a person if they are being falsely accused of doing certain things. But this, what Katie does to people, is fucked up all the way to the bank. Why would you guys that are so against Steve trying to clear his name not actually help him clear his name? Because at this point, you'll know what KJ is like. She lies so much. She will throw anybody under the bus to put herself on top. When this all went down with Nat, how many other women did KJ put in harm's way? She came after all these women and said that she feels so sorry for these women because all these women were connected to Steve McRae, okay? And she says that she feels so sorry for these women because these women are so vulnerable. He's taking advantage of them. Really, Katie? Do you know these women personally? Do you know how vulnerable they are? So she will throw anybody under the bus. And to clarify how she lied, okay, how she lied about Steve McRae having anything to do with Nat. And she went, and you guys saw, when she said Steve McRae was part of this, what did everybody do? We knew it. We knew it. We knew it. Just because you don't like this man, I don't know him. Spoken to him a few times. But you don't have to know somebody to know that injustice was done to them. And this is the reason, and this is further proof how KJ lied and tried to discredit him for her own personal gain. After everything was said and done, the investigation was closed. They found out that everything was happening in the community, all the death threats that were sent, all the emails that were sent, all this nonsense that was happening, it was all done by Natalie Kennett, who lives in the UK, okay? Same one that KJ said she verified that Steve was communicating with Nat. She verified his account. So Michael Saltz was dealing with the FBI. He is a well established attorney. Very well. I would take his word over KJ's any day of the week. Any day. So, you take what you just learned, what KJ had done on K-Bactor's Live, to everybody was like, yay, we knew Steve was involved. To Michael Saltz, that was involved in this investigation, and finding out exactly who was involved, and that Steve was never involved, but that this woman, Nat, is still continuing to fabricate stories that Steve was involved. This is Katie Joy's ammo. She has a habit of trying to discredit people when she knows she's wrong. When she wants to be the person that's always right. Another example I can give you. She did the same thing to Preacher Boy's Eric. Eric was supposed to have come on, or Eric was supposed to have had KJ on his channel. When Eric came on KJ's Instagram Live at one point, people were like, oh hell no, this guy is too much of a good guy to be caught up in Katie Joy's web. People warned him. He did his due diligence. Everything went haywire. He decided not to have KJ on his show. In turn, what happened? KJ went on an Instagram Live and alluded to the fact that because he was part of the IFB, he's an abuser. People went after him. KJ's trolls went after him, accused him of being an abuser, abusing his wife, his kids, his sister. He doesn't even have a sister. And all this was because KJ was rejected. She knew people would listen to Eric about the type of person that she is. So in turn, she went and she discredited him. This is a pattern for KJ. This is harmful, what KJ is doing. This man, Steve McRae, has that attached to him that he sexually abuses women, and that he apparently has these women so under his thumb. And all, in my opinion, because of KJ and the false claims she made against him.
The problem is, she named those people in her Instagram stream that's linked on the front of my Twitter. And guess who those people are? Listen to this insanity. They are the same people that accused Steve of being a rape apologist. They are the same people that accused Steve of every other thing out there under the sun that he's been accused of. She named those people. She's working with Steve's trolls while saying that Steve is leading a troll group. That's the most bitter irony, Katie. That you are literally working with provable. There's no way to say it's not true. Fiona is a troll that hates Steve McRae. And Steve has never sexually harassed Fiona. No one would. You couldn't pay the most desperate dude out on the street to sexually harass Fiona. They would turn to stone the instant they looked at her. Okay, I'll stop. I'm allowed to make fun of Fiona. She does nothing but harass Steve. And the other people that Katie named, XX Lid or whatever her name is. Yeah, that same fucking person that has accused Steve of thing after thing after thing after thing. Who always goes, they always stand up and say, yes, we've got evidence that Steve has harassed us. We've got evidence that he's a rape apologist. They've literally done this more than 100 times. They've been doing this to him for years, but never once, even while claiming they have evidence for every claim, have they ever been able to produce a single piece of evidence, Katie. And that's the issue. This is why you're not a valuable reporter. You're not a valuable commentary on these types of events. Because if you can take this much of these liars and not even do the 30 seconds of checking to see that Fiona is lying to you. Fiona did you in, Katie. Because with Fiona tricking you into telling people that reporting this, you have reported on the same channel that does your commentary, you have reported that Steve McRae sexually harassed 5 women. You reported that. Now, you didn't say they were allegations or anything. You literally said that he did it. which makes people think that he was taken to court and tried and been convicted for doing it, which is not true. He didn't even do it. He's never even been around those people. He hasn't been able to sexually harass them. He's literally just, I don't even understand where this comes from. And I don't understand how somebody that calls themselves a reporter can sit there and say on YouTube last night and on Instagram last night that Steve McRae sexually harassed 5 women. It's insane, but it shows you're not a reporter. You're a gossip mill. And people think they're coming to you for hard-hitting journalism. Yes, you did say that in your stream last night. But what they're getting are allegations, gossip, rumors, and bullshit. Okay? Sourcing a story makes you a reporter. Going to your channel and saying something before it's been verified and sourced makes you a gossip columnist.
And you guys, I have a video of KJ apologizing to Steve McRae. Unfortunately, she took it down on her channel, and I'll link that too. This is so wrong and so harmful. Why is it okay for her to do this? Why is it okay for her to lie? Why is it okay for her to gain information that she feels is she's going to benefit from somebody that threatened or tried to create CP of your son? Let that sink in, people. Let that sink in. That is fucked up on so many levels. So many levels. Like I said, you guys, this is a pattern for KJ. KJ has not only done this to Steve or Preacher Boy, she has done it to LB. Go visit LB's page. She got a whole video about it on her channel. The other day, she just did that to Keemstar, where she put it out there to make people believe that Keemstar has not paid his taxes, he's behind. But this manipulative woman intentionally did not show the whole page where it showed that he did pay his back taxes or whatever it was, but it was paid. So she intentionally took half of the page that showed he had however much outstanding for a certain period, but she intentionally failed to show that he did pay that money. She did the same thing to Emily D. Baker, where she tried to discredit Emily D. Baker, going on a channel and saying she's no lawyer, what she is doing is absolutely illegal because she can't practice in Tennessee where she lives. Emily didn't say she was practicing in Tennessee. Emily did let her audience know she can still practice in California. Look how cunning, how vile, how manipulative Katie Joy is. Look at the lengths she will go through to drag you down so she can remain the good person, the one on top. In the meantime, she is the one that's in the wrong and just cannot be wrong, hates to be wrong. That's a problem. That truly is a problem. Because you guys, at the end of the day, her whole channel is an echo chamber, period, in my opinion. Anybody that comes against KJ, her supporters are going to come at you. But you know what? At the end of the day, they're still the idiots. Because how can you be so close-minded? How can you just sit there and basically accept what this woman is saying? I mean, come on, let's look at Anna. First, she's all about Anna needs to wake the fuck up. To now, she has all the sympathy or empathy for Anna under the sun. Who's in your ear, KJ? Who's in your ear? Because at the end of the day, there is nobody in Amy's ear. Amy just saw your true colors, KJ. So your audience believes that Amy is living in fear of her uncle, Jim Bob, which is not the truth. She just appreciated a video she saw of somebody coming to her mother's defense. That's the way I interpret it. And then she gave a story to say exactly where she stands and how she was fooled by KJ. So for all those that firmly believe and took KJ's every word on how she is being silenced or how she's being controlled by Jim Bob, what is wrong with you people? Don't you have your own brains? Because at this point, KJ is living in her own bubble. When last has that woman smelt the fresh air? She is constantly on some kind of device. You don't have to be living in a house to know that. Just look at all her social media posts. She's constantly on social media. Does she even sleep? And she's got you all eating out of the palm of her hand. It's like the blind leading the blind, which cannot be healthy for anybody. And it's so weird. This is the most weird thing. After this whole investigation has been done about everything that has happened to KJ, and come to find out that it was Natalie Kennett that was doing this all on her own. Did KJ come and apologize to anybody? I didn't hear any apology. Because let me tell you something. There's a difference between confidence and arrogance. And KJ is definitely arrogant as fuck. She didn't come out and apologize to any of those people that she accused. She didn't even go as far as wanting to go further. Michael Sauce is going all the way to try hold Natalie Kennett accountable for what she did to his family. KJ just couldn't give two fucks. She's just keeping it moving forward. And in my opinion, that says a lot about this whole situation. Because honestly speaking, I'm going to say this outright. I don't think in my heart that KJ is true in what she said about Natalie Kennett. She said she never ever knew Natalie Kennett. She stuck with that story from the beginning of the Tati lawsuit to the end of the lawsuit. And then miraculously, when she sat down and gave her victory speech on her, I think it was a YouTube channel, and then suddenly she says she's never spoken to Natalie, only one time on Instagram.
Is there anything I can tell us about her? I don't know anything about her. I said on Twitter tonight, and I'll say it again, that I've never had a conversation with this person. I did one interaction on my Instagram. That was it. I've never spoken to her. I've never talked to her. I've never had a FaceTime with her. I've never emailed with her. I've never, nothing.
So you didn't know about Natalie, which makes me think, sit back and think, and I thought about this. Natalie claims to have DID. Who was the person that got in trouble with the DID community? Katie Joy. And if any of you can remember all this, please feel free to let me know. Because something just doesn't fit. Because I think I regard myself as a very understanding person. But to be understanding to the point where you can sit on a YouTube channel and have pity or have sympathy for somebody that caused such chaos in your life. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And how coincidentally, Steve McRae, the same person that you dislike with a passion, has been in communication with that person, Natalie Kennett. and you verified his information. Wow, absolutely wow. You guys, like I said, Steve is or has filed a lawsuit or is trying to go after what KJ has done to him. Lawsuits are damn expensive. He does have a fundraiser going. If you would like, feel free, donate. If not, that's also fine. But don't drag this man because of your feelings that you've heard from what somebody else has told you. Make up your own mind. And like I said, this can be your brother, your uncle, your dad. He could be any of that to you. And just because he's a stranger, you don't want him to get his name back. Talking about getting his name back, he filed a lawsuit against his partner that Katie Joy took that person's part and accused Steve of all these horrendous things. Steve sued him. And guess what? Steve is got back his show, the Non Sequitur show. He's getting back the funds that was due to him. So why would that should tell you everything? That should tell you everything. You guys, I'm gonna leave it as that. If there's anything else you want to know, feel free, contact Steve, visit his Non Sequitur Show YouTube channel. Do what you need to do, but just make up your own mind. Don't listen to what this one said and that one said. I did not do that. He may have things wrong with him. Yes, he may think he knows it all. That's fine. You don't have to be his best friend. You don't have to follow him, but just support him to get the things that was done wrong to him. Make it right. Help him make it right. But that's just me. I'm not telling anybody what to do. Make up your own mind. Guys, thank you so much. I truly appreciate you. Like I said, I'll be back probably the weekend. I'm going to give my reaction to this whole bullshit Instagram that Katie Joy did. Thank you so much, you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Please be safe out there. Please, 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 please. Don't forget to wear your mask. Take all the precautions you need. You know, we all got to do our parts, you guys. You know, and at the end of the day, just be kind to one another and don't forget to make good memories every day. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.